The first test I wanted to perform on the PF9 was an easy one. It was supposed to replicate the scenario of the gun not only falling into the snow, but being packed with snow. So I tap it a few times and attempt to fire 3 shots, and it passes. Next, I submerged the gun in water. The cold weather has a way of bringing out the worst in guns, so I was interested to see how it would fare. 3 shots again, and it passes. Now that it's warmed up, I thought I'd throw it into the deep end, so to speak, by opening the action and pressing it into the coarse grit sand. Now I wanted to make sure that it got all throughout the gun in hopes of slowing it down a bit. But as you can see here, when I pull the trigger, nothing happens. Chalk this up to a light primer strike. And I shoot 3 rounds and get a failure to feed after the 3rd round's fired. So go ahead and rinse the gun off. You can actually hear the scratching when I pull the slide back here. So now I'm completely degreasing the PF9 with rubbing alcohol. The idea is to strip the gun of any residual oil that may be lingering, further hindering its process. Although I probably should have stopped there, I decided to pack the de-oiled PF9 with copious amounts of pocket lint. This particular test is obviously not practical, but I wanted to see how it would fare. I'm just putting a bit more into the rear and front of the sight for good measure. So it shoots the baseline of 3 rounds without issue, so I decided to shoot a 4th just for fun. At this point I'm impressed. I thought it would fail for sure. Back in the rinse tank to wet it down so the sand would be sure to stick everywhere that it touched. Now I make sure to clear the muzzle before I attempt to do this. Now I admit I'm actually curious, but I'm not that curious. So I squeeze the trigger once, twice, and the gun fires on the 3rd squeeze, but doesn't break where it normally does. And the result is a failure to eject. So go ahead and get that one out of there. Same song, 2nd verse. In fact, the rest of the mag provides the same result. I sped it up so I didn't have to cut out the failure footage. But in fairness, this thing was absolutely foobarred. Even the mag had a tough time coming out. So back in the warm water it goes. Again, wrecking the slide in hopes of clearing out some of the sand in there. It seems to be loosened up at this point. So I attempt to fire additional rounds downrange, and I'm met with a series of light primer strikes, failure to eject, and a trigger that doesn't want to reset.
Misfire. No good.
So after this, I do a quick field strip, cleaning and oiling it. Now at this point, it's almost back to normal. Now when I get home, I was able to do a more thorough cleaning, which likely took care of any remaining issues. But all in all, I'm impressed and frankly a bit surprised at the results. I don't know how helpful this data is, but I hope it was entertaining at a minimum. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave your mark down below. Anyway, until next time, this is Palagi, signing off.